Are you listening?
Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report. My name is Brian Chappelle, and on this week's episode, The Last of Us 2 release date is announced, and it can't get here soon enough. Google announces new games during the latest Stadia Connect. Apex Legends' next in-game legend is revealed as we are about to enter Season 5. And finally, we need to talk about Ubisoft's next Assassin's Creed game, Valhalla, because the game's not even out yet, and I am already obsessed with it. But before we jump into any of that, your top headlines.
Top headlines.
First up this week, The Last of Us Part 2. Following the start of the coronavirus pandemic, both Naughty Dog and PlayStation announced that the game would be delayed indefinitely. And, well, I think it's fair to say that some of us have never been the same since. But this week, the skies parted and Last of Us Part 2 finally has a release date. In a blog post on PlayStation.com, it was announced that The Last of Us Part 2 will be releasing on June 19th. The Last of Us Part 2 will take place 5 years following the original game, where Ellie and Joel have settled down in Jackson, Wyoming. As a violent event disrupts that peace, Ellie embarks on a relentless journey to carry out justice and find closure. Now, if June 19th sounds familiar, that's because it was originally the release date for Ghost of Tsushima, which has been delayed until July 17th. Next up, Google Stadia. This week marked the arrival of another Stadia Connect, which featured some pretty awesome announcements coming to the service. Announcements like a brand new partnership between Electronic Arts and Stadia, which will bring games like Madden, FIFA, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to the service. Stadia also revealed 3 new first-on-Stadia timed exclusives. Games like Crata, a game development platform where players can create games like Prop Hunt. Ember, a firefighting simulator with a catch. You are a first responder in a gig economy. Super cool concept. And finally, Wavebreak, an arcade-style jet ski skateboarding video game with explosions and cold-blooded murder. But that's not all, because Stadia closed out this Connect by announcing that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is available right now for free to all Stadia Pro members. Next up, let's talk about some Apex Legends. Season 5 of Apex Legends begins on May 12th. And this week, we received our official first look at the next in-game legend, Loba. The latest Stories of the Outland trailer showcases Loba Andrade and picks up immediately from where we last saw them, after Revenant brutally murdered their family. Since then, Loba has been living the life of a thief, using cloaking technology, teleportation, and other various tools to add to her collection. Now, it is rumored that Loba will feature abilities that allow them to teleport, see through walls, along with carrying a device that allows them to steal all nearby loot. But that, of course, is still rumored. However, luckily for us, we won't be waiting much longer, because the Season 5 update and Loba will be arriving in Apex Legends on May 12th. And finally, for our top headline, Star Wars! And just in case you're watching this on Monday, May the 4th be with all of you. The Star Wars Battlefront series has been a very interesting story to watch. The first EA Star Wars Battlefront game, while good, was plagued with small player lobbies due to DLC maps dividing the active player base. And Star Wars Battlefront 2, well, how much time do we have to talk about that? I mean, we could talk about star cards, loot boxes, or the fact that for the last 2.5 years, I've begged EA for a damn Gundam skin, and I still haven't gotten it. However, unfortunately for me, my chances of getting to teabag a stormtrooper as Jar Jar Binks are officially dead. A blog post written by creative director Dennis Braunville announced, For more than 2 years, the team has deployed 25 free content updates that have shaped and expanded Star Wars Battlefront 2 into something truly special for Star Wars fans. We've introduced game-changing heroes, fan-favorite reinforcements, exotic planets, and epic new ways to play across all 3 cinematic eras. Today, we're bringing you the details of what's coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2 in the next content update named the Battle of Scarif, where we return to the tropical battlefront inspired by Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Now, EA explains that the Battle of Scarif will bring new skin updates like Rey wielding a yellow lightsaber, Kylo Ren wearing a reforged mask, and an updated look to Emperor Palpatine. Battlefront 2 will also add a new skin for Darth Maul that gives him mechanical legs, but I'll give you one guess as to what it doesn't include. Yeah. And at this point, if you're like me, you must be thinking, well, surely they have to add Gungan skins in Star Wars Battlefront 3. However, we might be waiting a very long time for that game. Because according to the Star Wars news outlet Bespin Bulletin, right now there are no plans for a Battlefront 3. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here we are. Enjoy the Battle of Scarif update, share some kind messages to the team at DICE who worked ever so hard on Battlefront 2. And may the Force be with you. Oh, I'll send them some messages, alright. Where are the damn Gungan skins? Well, that's going to wrap up this week's top headlines. So, without further ado, let's jump into this week's top story with the rundown.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. You know, for a game that has been into almost every period of history and covered every corner of the world, it blows my mind that I can still get excited for these games. Seriously, Assassin's Creed has been to Italy, Istanbul, Jerusalem, India, Russia, China, the Caribbean, London, Paris, the US colonies, Greece, and Egypt. And this year, the Assassin's Creed franchise will explore the barbaric world of Vikings in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. According to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will allow gamers to play as either a male or female Viking raider called Eivor, who is a fearless warrior and is leading their clan from the icy desolation of Norway to a new home in the lush farmlands of 9th century England. Gamers must find their own settlement and conquer this hostile land by any means to earn a place in Valhalla. Now, we have had plenty of rumors in circulation leading up to this game, and luckily, the official announcement of Valhalla didn't disappoint, because Valhalla will feature RPG mechanics where nearly every decision that you make will have lasting effects throughout the world. The game also promises the ability to lead epic raids, where you will lead longship attacks to pillage enemy territories in order to gain resources to expand your settlements, along with launching massive assaults on the Kingdom of England. Now, with any kingdom, you of course need a king, and your Viking warlord will go head-to-head with one of England's most famous kings, King Alfred. According to historian Thierry Noel, King Alfred is a very important character in England's history. When the Vikings started to invade and settle England, all the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fell, one after another. The only one that survived was Wessex, which was the kingdom ruled by Alfred. It not only survived, but he managed to repel the Viking invasion, and even managed to rebuild modern England. But for me, one of the most intriguing concepts about Valhalla is probably going to be your settlement. In fact, in an interview with Eurogamer, Ubisoft's Julien Lafayette spoke about the settlement mechanic. It really changed the shape of the game we were making. Instead of exploring one territory, then moving on to another and having no real opportunity or reason to return, the settlement changes the structure. So you'll go on an adventure and then be encouraged to come back to your settlement. It changes the way we are playing the game we're making. At least, that's the bet we're making. Eurogamer continued to explain that as you grow your village, new buildings will be available to customize and upgrade, such as barracks, blacksmith, and tattoo parlors. So realistically, with Assassin's Creed Valhalla's story, the expanding settlement, and the RPG mechanics alone, this is going to become an instant Game of the Year contender. And we haven't even spoken about the in-game combat yet, because Valhalla promises visceral, ruthless, and brutal combat. Gamers will wield swords, shields, or even 2 axes. Ubisoft promises that you can decapitate your enemy in close quarter combat, riddle them with arrows, or, like any other Assassin's Creed game, you can utilize your hidden blade. That's right, despite early rumors that the trademark assassin wrist-wielded blade was going to be removed from this game, it is not only in Valhalla, but it's responsible for one of the best parts of the brand new trailer. As far as the question of when will I be able to get my hands on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ubisoft is targeting the holiday season of 2020. But luckily for us, we won't have to wait much longer for more Assassin's Creed Valhalla content, because on the next episode of Inside Xbox, airing on May 7th, that's next week, we will get our first look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay. And finally for this week, we come to that noise. Of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So, in order to cover the rest of the week's news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call Every single week, we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying! So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Thunder noise! And go! PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is adding bots to console versions of the game to kind of fill up lobbies. WWE 2K Battlegrounds was announced this week, and it looks awesome. We got our first look at a brand new game called Bullets Per Minute, which is a weird cross between Doom and Beat Saber, and I kind of like it. Destroy All Humans will be releasing on all platforms on July 28th. Xbox Game Pass has officially hit 10 million users. Wow, congratulations, Microsoft. Speaking of Xbox, we have a brand new episode of Inside Xbox next week that will show next-gen console gameplay. That's exciting. Dying Light has a brand new DLC expansion called Hell Raid. PlayStation has revealed that there is a free demo of Dreams. Wow, check that out, because Dreams is one of the coolest games that has launched this year. We got new DLC expansion for Luigi's Mansion 3, which brings multiplayer. And finally, Nintendo announced that there will be no digital direct to replace this year's E3. Whew! 2 seconds under the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week's episode of the Nerf Report. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is Bryant Chappell. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching. Dying! I lost my balance there. Luigi's Mansion 3 has a brand new DLC expansion for Switch and multiplayer, so I don't know if I'm gonna check that out. It doesn't look fun.